Cleveland Cooks is back in the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging's Kitchen, and this time we have partnered up with the Ohio Pork Council, and I've got my new friend Chris here. We're getting ready to make some awesome, easy weeknight meals.
That's right.
With pork, and it's going to be a fan favorite, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. It's one that my family just raves about. So
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So which one are we going to work with here?
So we're going to do a pork loin roulade. We're going to butterfly the pork loin open. It's going to be stuffed with some prosciutto and all kinds of herbs. It's going to be really yummy.
Yum. All right. So butterfly roulade. This sounds fancy, but you tell me it's approachable, right?
It's very approachable. Yeah. It seems like it's a lot, but you'll see with just a couple of quick steps that we're going to make
this?
Yeah, we're going to make an awesome dinner.
Okay. All right. So we start with the loin here, right?
We do.
Okay.
Yes.
So you need to butterfly it.
Yeah, so we do. So
Show
we're
me
going to
how
take our
it's done.
loin, and we're going to start about a ½ inch up from the bottom.
Okay.
So we're just going to take our knife and start slicing it through the loin and take it all the way down. You're going to want a knife that's longer than the loin that you're cooking.
And nice and sharp,
That's
too.
right. Yes, a sharp knife is a safer knife, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And as we keep cutting here, you see it's going to just roll open,
Okay.
right? And we're just going to open it up kind of like a book.
Oh, look at that.
That's right. So just some slow slices here.
And that's
now,
nice and tender, too. I mean, that was easy to cut.
That's right.
That
but
loin, for
yes,
sure.
it's super tender, and it's also a very lean cut of meat.
Nice, okay.
But it's filled with flavor, and it'll take on any flavor you want to give it. So that's one of the nice things about the pork loin.
Okay.
So now that we have this butterflied open, we're gonna make our pesto.
Okay.
Right, so we have our herbs over here. So we're gonna take our parsley,
Okay.
toss it into our blender over here.
We have lots of herbs. I say parsley, thyme. What do we have? Chives, basil. What's this one? This is tarragon, maybe?
Yeah, we got some tarragon. That's not an herb that's used too much, but it's one
No.
of my favorites.
Oh, it smells really good, that
Yes,
whole plate.
super aromatic.
Uh-huh.
And plenty of basil here, and a little bit of thyme.
Okay.
So we're gonna make sure to take some of our thyme leaves and just
Kind
scrape
of
it
strip
off.
them. You don't want the stems in that.
No, you don't want that. That's the bad stuff. And we're gonna take a couple of cloves of garlic here.
Okay.
Right? Toss those in, and then some of our fresh lemon zest.
Ooh, yum.
That's going right in the blender here. And we need a couple of teaspoons of prepared horseradish.
I love that. Okay,
Yes.
so the horseradish factor between the herbaceous, the flavor you're going to have, and then a little bit of that like zingy
Oh
kick,
yes,
right?
it's gonna give us a little bit of heat, a little bit of zest.
Ooh, I can smell that as soon as you open it up
Yes,
too, right?
a little something to it.
Okay.
Toss that in there. And then we're just gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper.
Now you can do this with a blender, you can do this with a food processor.
Food processor would be perfect.
Okay. And if you don't have these things, I mean, you can chop them up finely and make yourself a pesto as well,
You
right?
can, that would
Okay.
work just fine.
Okay.
Start off with our blender. We're gonna open up the lid here, and we're just gonna start to process our ingredients here. And we're gonna slowly drizzle in about 1/4 to a ½ cup of olive oil.
Okay. So you want it chopped, not so it's not liquefied or anything. You just kind of want it finely chopped with the processor.
Right, we don't want it to where it's pureed completely. We want a little bit of texture to it.
Okay.
But you can see we got a nice fine dice in there. And now we're just going to put it on our pork loin here and kind
Oh,
of spread
man.
it out a little bit.
That smells so good.
So we're gonna go ahead and spread it out just a bit more. You can see we got a lot of herbs going on here, and it's super aromatic. Okay, and now we're gonna roll this up after we add in our prosciutto.
Ooh, that is one of my favorite pork products is prosciutto. I love
Yes,
prosciutto. Tell me
mine
how
as
you're
well.
using this.
So we're gonna put down 6 slices of prosciutto. Then we're gonna roll this up and we're gonna tie it closed.
May I?
Yes,
All right,
please
cool.
do. Just 6 slices and it'll be perfect.
Okay.
And then we'll roll it up.
Okay, so we've got our prosciutto down,
We
we've got
do.
our pesto down. What
We
comes
do.
next, Chris?
Okay, so now we're just gonna take this and roll it back up.
Okay.
You wanna do the honors?
Why don't you start and then I'll finish.
All right, so we're gonna roll it back up, reverse the way that we cut this open.
Okay, so it's not anything you have to do too tightly, right?
That's right. We don't have to do it too tightly.
Okay.
Go ahead and
Like
just
that.
finish that roll there.
Okay,
And look at that.
beautiful.
Now
This is
we-
going to be so pretty when it's
It
done.
is going to be
Pork
beautiful.
is pretty sometimes.
Now, you know, we cut a little too deep there, but that's all right because cooking's not always perfect. And
Right.
this is going to taste fantastic
Okay.
anyways. So
Okay.
we're going to take our cooking twine over here,
Okay.
right? And so transfer this here. And there's all kinds of fancy ways you can tie the meat closed, but we're doing it nice and simple, okay? So we just cut some strands. We're gonna use these and tie this closed. There we go. Get it nice and tight. So now I think our skillet's nice and hot. We just want it just over medium. We don't want to get it too hot because this is going to retain the heat really, really well.
Yeah.
It's going to go directly into the oven and finish cooking there.
Okay.
We just want it hot enough so that way we get a good sear and good color on our pork loin. So now we're going to take it and we're going to go in fat cap down.
Ooh, listen to that.
There we go. We're getting that beautiful sear.
That's when the house is going to start smelling
That's right.
really
That's when
good
my dad
too, right?
shows up. Yeah. He just seems to always know.
The kids are like, what's for dinner? Ooh, okay. Yeah.
There we go. Look at that beautiful sear.
Okay, Chris, so we've got it seared on all 4 sides.
We do.
Ready for the oven?
That's right. Now
This thing is screaming hot, so I'm getting out of the way.
We're taking the whole pan.
Uh-huh.
We're coming over to the oven, putting it in at 375. So we're gonna go, top shelf will be fine. Close that and let that go for about 50 minutes, and we'll check it then and see where our temperature's at.
Awesome. All right, this looks beautiful. This is kind of a
Smells
showpiece.
even better, right?
This is a showpiece for a weeknight, but I like it. It smells
This
amazing,
is.
Chris.
This creates a discussion amongst everybody.
Yes.
Right, so we're just gonna cut the butcher's twine off here before we slice it up. It's all holding together perfectly. That's what those beautiful proteins in the pork do.
Yes.
Kind of like a glue, right?
The
Once it
heavier
cooks.
than chicken protein pork. I like that.
That's right.
Yes. So we let that rest for maybe about 10
About
minutes.
10 minutes or so, right? And resting it a little longer is still fine. It's gonna retain that heat for a long time.
Okay.
So we're just gonna transfer this to our beautiful cutting board here. And we're just gonna cut this into some pretty pinwheels,
Okay.
right? So we're gonna go in about 1.5 inches or so.
And make sure you have that sharp knife, right?
Got that beautiful sharp knife. We can
Ooh.
see we got our herbs in there and the prosciutto. Right, so just give that another nice little cut. You can hear the juices coming out of there, right?
It is so juicy.
So now we can see all these beautiful pork slices.
And this is how
Right.
hot it is after we let it rest for 10 minutes. So
That's
again,
right.
know that you can have this sitting for a little bit after you get it out of the oven, and it's still going to be not too hot to taste yet, though. Right?
Not too hot to
Okay.
taste. I mean, unless you're a trooper. So give it a shot.
Okay. Oh, this looks amazing.
A lot going on.
Oh, wow. Super juicy, super tender,
That's right.
delicious.
The knife glid through like butter.
It really did.
Right? Mm-hmm. There you go.
And I'm talking with my mouth full because that's what I do for a living these days. Now, if people want this recipe, they can go to ohpork.org and get the complete recipe. Thank you so much, Chris.
That's right. Thank you.